check.
Anything goes at a house show. You can go in and out as you please, which is nice. Like I said, you just meet a lot cooler people at house shows, I think, and it's a community. Whereas at venues, you meet a lot of people who are there just for the specific band.
House shows are more intimate, and it's kind of like all your friends are there, and where a venue show is kind of like there's this huge barrier. Obviously there's a physical barrier, the gates or whatever, but there's also like the barrier, the fact that like they're celebrities or they're these bigger people, or at least that's what they think they are, and where you're just like there watching them.
The energy in a house show, it takes fewer people to get everybody as hype as it does at a venue show, and there's definitely a real marked difference in like participant and performer interaction, because I know for a fact that at a house show they are there. You were sweating on them, they are sweating on you, whereas with the stage, you've got that little bit of extra, separation.
Once you go to one, everyone's pretty welcoming, everyone's pretty nice, and you slowly get to be friends with everyone, which is really cool. And a lot of bands, like for example, Pedals on Our Pirate Ships, I wasn't friends with them, I always saw them as like Richmond celebrities kind of, and I was like, oh yeah, the band, like the music's really awesome. And then like now I'm friends with them.
At least 75 to 85% of my friends are people that I've met at house shows or going to shows. People need people to hang out with. Like sometimes I went just to hang out. Venue shows are usually a little bit more expensive. I've got to actually plan for those. Like a house show, I could be doing absolutely nothing, and so you're like, hey, there's a show, and you roll up on it. But second semester freshman year to probably about a little bit of first semester junior year, I was at a house show at least 3 times a week.
Right now I'm a little bit burnt out, but I used to go about 5 times a week. It's really awesome because a lot of my friends here have been older, and I just started hanging out with a bunch of people my age at house shows, so I've made a lot of new friends. And every time you go, you see the same people. It's like a legitimate community.
It's just great to meet people in such a direct manner who are so involved and believe so much in the validity of art in any form.
I know that's one of the reasons why I decided to come to school here. Like, VCU is a great school and everything, but Richmond's a really cool place, and a lot of it is because it's the thriving music scene, the great art community here. And I think a lot of people that are in Richmond now, because of how great of a city it is, because of the arts and because of the music, wouldn't be here now.
I learned a lot the first year that I was going to shows. I remember sitting on the porch or the patio at like Brant and just waiting for somebody that looked like they were punked to go by so I could talk to them. I have it written down, the exact date that I went to my first one in Richmond, because it just changed my life. But I showed up early and was just kind of hanging out and trying to get to know people because I didn't know anybody. And I was really tired of my social situation from the first semester. And Alex Wilhelm is like one of my best friends, and I met him there. I met Carl, Matt Seymour. I'm trying to think. I don't want to just start name dropping, but I met so many people that I would not be who I am today without at that show. It's just part of who I am. I was part of something that was, or still am part of something that's bigger than myself.
Mammals played next, and they sounded great at the show I went to last night, but then the drunkenness came out, and I was kind of moshed out of the way, so I just decided I'd leave after that. Most of the time it's not that big of a deal, and a lot of times it's your friends who are drunk and you know how to handle them. But last night, for some reason the past couple shows I've been to, like a lot of people from JMU and like Radford have been down, so it's broed out a whole lot the past couple of shows. So they're just like drunk guys moshing to like dance music, and it doesn't really make any sense. So when that happens, that's not cool.
There's some people that are kind of not as welcoming, I guess you would say, to people that don't dress with, like cut-off shorts and have tattoos and whatnot. So they might feel kind of out of place. But I don't know, most people, as long as you're nice and you don't have a like weird attitude that you're better than everyone else, it usually works out pretty fine. Probably the bro kind of look would be, I don't know, I'm sure like everyone's like, oh yeah, I don't judge, but everyone does it. We all do it. Like, don't lie, like it happens. So I'm sure everyone would kind of be like, what's that guy doing here?
I don't know if there's so much not being let in. There are people that show up and cause problems. Anything where you're going to have alcohol consumed is going to begin to cause problems. I mean, other than that, like it's a welcoming scene. It's just you just have to maintain the respect of the people that are there. It's surprising because being in a fraternity myself, I always encourage them not to be tool bags and show up to shows and try and start stuff. I have had plenty of fraternity brothers that have showed up to shows and not a word was said. It's just kind of all about how you carry yourself and how you act. Acting like you're a bro is not going to win you any points. So it's one of those things where it's like regular society. Like if you're going to go around and be a tool bag, people are going to take you out. Like it's like a microcosm of society is what this whole house show scene is like.
There's certainly pre-existing social constructs within the house show scene, as they would be in any other subculture, and especially with student communities and things like that. There's a lot of individuality, and there's certainly people who would take more kindness to some things than others, but I don't feel like it's anything that would heavily convince people not to go out based on those sort of things.
We really strive to make sure that the people that come to this are really chill, laid back people coming to just have a good time and enjoy a show, like coming to actually watch some music. I don't want the people to come here if they're just coming to get drunk and have a good, if they're just coming to get drunk, this isn't the place for them. Right, I wouldn't say it's an us versus them. I know those people are out there definitely. And one of the main ideas behind starting this place was to allow everyone, that it was going to be, we weren't going to be turning people away because of anything. So, we try to stick to that, and we try to just do what we can to make it so that those people, don't really want to, make it so that the people that really enjoy the music are coming.
I think the city, in an ideal sense, support the arts, but I definitely think that there are a lot of technicalities that people get caught up in, and certainly there's a lot of adversity being split between the neighborhood associations and the student communities here.
But in Richmond, it's harder because of all of the laws, and it's funny because no one's really doing anything wrong necessarily at these shows. Like there's no like crazy drugs, like everyone's just having fun. There's no one's like destroying anything, but everyone seems to have a problem with it. It's for Richmond being like an arts city, it hasn't been that supportive in the recent years. A lot of things have gotten shut down just because of the music.
I've had policemen that have just been curious about the noise, and then I've had some that have been real douches and tried to shut down shows because they don't agree with the views or the people performing, or the fact that there are things going on that they don't have control over. So I don't know what it's like for the really tiny house shows, but I know for a fact that there is a lot of CAPS, which is like the Community Assistant Police Snitching Program or something. I don't know what it's actually called. They have a lot. I know for a fact that they do like drive-bys on flyers and stuff to try and figure out where the houses are. I can't really say that the actual city really even cares. They've got, and they should be, focusing more on some of the bigger problems they have.
The police do tend every now and then to come and watch us. They sit out there. It almost seems more to me that a lot of times that they're watching us, with there to protect us almost, like they're not even out there with any ill intentions. A lot of times, a few times they've come up to the gate and asked us to quiet it down and just make sure that we don't have anyone outside doing anything they're not supposed to do. And we have had one case where they asked us to shut it down, so we did that for them. So I try to maintain as good a relationship as I can with the authorities.